taken down.
Yep. Yep. Speaking of P. Diddy, look who joins us here. Mr. Herms, how are you?
How do I not find that funny?
I don't know.
Oh, hey boys, how you doing?
It goes to the heart of the situation that we're kind of experiencing now. It's P. Diddy seems to be like the side story, but I think at some point it's going to be the central story. It's going to be the story. What do you feel?
I'm still up in the air because, and I know that we have these talks with Bruce and Robert between you guys, and here's the biggest challenge I have: are the white hats in control or not? I say there's two things going on at one time. I say there's absolutely a white hat operation in the back. I can actually even buy into the CIC thing, but DC is its own entity, and DC is doing whatever the F they want when they want.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've seen Lahaina, we've seen Hurricane Helene. By the way, documentary, I'm hoping it will drop at 7:11 Eastern time tomorrow. It's called Hurricane Hell. That's what I've been working on. It's amazing. I'm very proud of the work we've done, and Bruce was down there and Eric with us. But anyway, so I always want people to listen to this. And Robert, it proves that I think over the last 5 years, maybe I've got it right when I said, isn't there possible there could be two things going on at once? Can there not be a good guy operation, but the bad guys still have control of a lot of things at the same time? So when you ask me about the P. Diddy thing, is it going to be exposed? I don't know. Here's why. Let's think about who busted him. The FBI was involved. The FBI is extraordinarily corrupt, and the FBI is really good at taking something and covering it up. Have we seen anything other than Harvey Weinstein go down in the Harvey Weinstein case? No. Other than Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, have we seen anything come out of that? No. And that list is supposed to be extensive. So when the FBI is involved, and worse, when the Southern District of New York is the one that put out the order to go get Diddy, I was like, wow, could this just be another way to contain their messaging and have a fall guy, and we'll never hear anything about it? I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm just saying this is where we need to be authentic and aware that two things could be going on at the same time. What's your thoughts on that?
Go ahead.
All you, Bruce.
Or me? All right. Well, I mean, I absolutely 100%. And the thing is what is right now, we know, like you said, FBI, DOJ, all these, they're corrupt as the day is long. And so who is the entity that's going to bring these people down? There's along those lines. And we've heard for years, how many times have we heard all the Epstein list is going to be released, all this different stuff, and there's, nobody accountable. So yeah, they could be throwing a bone, making some person, but that person should start squealing if they want to save themselves, you'd think, right?
Yeah, well, who knows? I mean, could it be is we're going to protect your family, and your family's still going to get some money. We're not going to take all your money. You're going to preserve the legacy for your family. Who knows what's going on? And by the way, folks, I'm not saying that this isn't a white hat operation and they've got Diddy and everything's going to be disclosed, because if we're going to be honest, and let's start doing that, if we're going to do the news, and if we're going to be public figures, I'm talking to all the podcasters and influencers out there, guys, the news, the mainstream media, they're fucking falling apart. And it's all dropping in our hands. So do we want to be the shiny penny people, or we want to be the honest people? I decide I want to be the honest person. In fact, when you see Hurricane Hell, that's what you're going to see. So the question is, let's look at it. Yeah, it could be a complete white hat operation, and they're going to drop things, so on and so forth. Because what I do see is it seems everybody that was at the P. Diddy parties just happens to be the ones endorsing Kamala Harris right now. So it may be. Maybe but we've said for years right here, guys, they will have to pick a side sooner or later. The evil pick the evil, and the good have to pick the good. Or if you're neutral, you're going to have to find one and pick it. So it could be that, or it could be traditionally what we've seen, by the way, for hundreds of years, that when something starts to come to the surface that will affect the globalist cabal, what they do is they call it's contain and capture, right? Or capture and contain. So they capture their person, they contain it, and then they sell the person on how this is best for you because you were going to go down anyways, and we're going to do for you, but we have to contain all the information. So all I'm trying to say is, guys, let's just be aware that it could be either one. And this is an authentic evaluation of what's going on.
Yeah, I was looking at that from that perspective, Lewis, and just trying to see where that lever of power is with all the P. Diddy stuff. And you're right, they're all endorsing Harris. All of them are coming out in lockstep doing that. And it's almost as if they're not allowed to speak their mind or to have their own opinions on stuff. It's almost like they're told and they're handed the script, and here's what you're going to do. You're going to go out in front of that camera or in front of that audience, and here's what you're going to read. Here's the teleprompter. Here's your lines that you're going to deliver, because that the society that we live in is so celebrity centric. I mean, they just buy it hook, line, and sinker whatever the celebrities are saying, not realizing the powers that be behind the scenes that are pushing them to this. These people are not making their own decisions, and when they do, they're excommunicated from Hollywood, aren't they? There's very few of them that come out and say, I'm conservative and I believe this and believe that, and it's like, goodbye. You're not part of the game anymore.
No, it's so true. So again, I don't know where this is going to go, but here's what I do know, and I think this is what just gives me the warmest heart ever. Is I know, based on it was my prior belief. Let's do this. Years ago, I manifested that we the people are going to win and take back our country. Right? That's what I was manifesting. And then later, I started to believe that it's actually going to happen. And now I see flat out freaking evidence that we're not going backwards anymore. I mean, if Bruce can attest to this, we saw boots on the ground in North Carolina, liberal Democrats and conservatives together fighting, both agree on a couple things. Number one, it's up to we the people. That's freaking huge right there. And number two, government was not going to come save them. That is so heartening to me that the American spirit, I say the worldwide spirit, is alive and well. And let's just remember this. After you go down there, you're not going back. So all we have to do is carve out a few every single day, keep carving it out and bringing them to the awakening side so they realize that we, the people, hold all the power. They're never going back. So I believe right now, though, we're in what's called the momentum phase. And if anybody's familiar with marketing, the momentum phase is the most powerful phase there is, because this is where that snowball has crested the hill and now it's rolling down and it's unstoppable and it's gaining speed and gaining power. So that's where we are right now. So I think there's a lot to be happy about and excited about for the future. This doesn't mean we rest on our laurels. This means we work harder now, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. Pedal to the metal, baby. Pedal to the metal. This ain't no time to take any time off.
Yep. Speaking of that, I can't take any more time off of editing this documentary, especially since I just put out a date and time of release. My wife is in the other room going, "Are you freaking crazy?" So that means I'll probably be up all night, but we're going to get it done. And I'm extraordinarily proud of the work that's being done on this documentary. It's called Hurricane Hell, y'all. You can go to hurricanehell.com. You learn more information, but we will release it right here at 7:11 Eastern time tomorrow. Robert and I and Bruce, if you'd like to come on, and Eric, whoever, we'll do a short news before that, and then we'll have to pull off, if I'm right, Robert,
Yep.
and then go back on, and then you guys will be able to chat during the release, which I think is really cool. Although, to be honest, too, maybe I won't even open up the chat because this is such an impactful film, and I watch people have these sidebar conversations that have zero to do with it. Maybe that's not a good idea. So, Robert, you and I can talk about that offline to see how we want to handle that. But, folks, this is going to, I think this is a groundbreaking film, and it's gonna get a lot of attention and tell the stories about what's going on in this world. This is a microcosm of what we've been dealing with, I think, Bruce, don't you, over the last 100 years?
Oh yeah, it is. It is a microcosm. Micro fixes the macro, and this is how we see it all over the place. I was talking with somebody yesterday about how you can see it's a microcosm of things, smaller things going on. If you look for what's good, you will see it in there, 100%.
Yep, absolutely. Both of you guys, I really appreciate you so much. I wish I'd been around more lately, but hey, this is the priority right now. And then Robert and I had a good conversation today. We have great things to come, and I hope Bruce will be involved in that too. Where we go, Bruce goes.
That's right.
So long as my wife lets me.
Exactly. Well,
Kicking and screaming, but he'll go.
Most of it will be online, Natalie. All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks,
God
Louis.
bless everybody watching. Appreciate your support. Donations are still coming in. Go to unitytour.us to help everybody there. Boots on the ground. Unfortunately, they're in body recovery mode right now. We got to bring these people back to their families so their families can have closure. Yeah. So anything you can do to support, even pray, that would be great. unitytour.us. Robert, Bruce, see ya.
See ya. Thanks, Louis. All right. That was always good to have him pop in. Boy. Yeah. Okay. Some breaking news. You're not going to like this. But it's what we talked about earlier. It's what will happen. We're going to assume that Trump's going to win the election. That's where we'll go, right? We'll go there for right now because that's what it feels like at this moment. I don't know if it'll stay there. But I believe the real battle is going to happen after the election. When you wake up on November 6th and they try to tell you, getting the receipt, and they're going, I didn't vote for Harris. What happened? The machine's flipping them in real time, right? So we're seeing that, and we're going to see a lot of problems afterwards. So here's something that came out earlier today. Congressman Jamie Raskin joins the Norm Eisen team to help thwart Trump's presidency. The planning for the Trump dictator and Trump Hitler theme has been in use since at least February of 24. This will be the basis to seditiously fight his presidency. They also intend to use Trump supporting Project 2025, that fake narrative. Others are included in this are Susan Cork, George Conway. Isn't that Kellyanne's Conway's husband, right?
I think they separated or might have got a divorce or something.
Okay. Billy Crystal, yep. He really flipped. I used to watch him. I thought he was a good guy. Keith Ellison, no surprise there. Joanna Lingate, Sarah Longwell, ACLU, and Jen Rubin. This all falls under the state democracy defenders. We go on offense against democracy deniers who break the law, including through our innovative program of outside public support of criminal prosecution. Can't make this up.
Yeah, I think, and that Bill Crystal, that's not the comedian Bill Crystal. That's a different guy.
Right.
There's a pundit, a talking head. His name is Bill Crystal. He's a real fucktard. But yes, it's not the comedian that you look marvelous, darling.
Not Billy Crystal, right? Bill Crystal, right?
Yeah.
I called him Billy, but it's actually Bill Crystal. Yeah, it's not the same guy. But of course, we don't know where Billy Crystal stands on all of this. He looks marvelous. I guess that's where we got to go, right?
You know, military have to come in and do a new election. As you'd mentioned that word, new election. A new election, military running it one day, paper ballots, voter ID. You know, that's for all the marbles, as they say. So there's multitude of potential scenarios, and we can play that game until the cows come home. But the bottom line is we just need to continue to push to be positive as we can, work on ourselves, do our job, being talking to people, not keeping our voices under a bushel, and doing what we can. And then I believe that everything is going to work out. I know that like I know my own name. How it ends up working out, that's a whole different subject.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think, at this stage, we were taken by surprise, honestly, in 2020. We didn't think the presidential election, it was even possible to steal it. So a lot of us were kind of behind the eight ball there. And, if you look at how we reacted to it, we really didn't react. We had 54 lawsuits literally across the country. Every single one of them was tossed out on standing. Not one of them was heard. We didn't lose them, as the Democrats will say. You guys lost all the lawsuits. We never got to trial. We never got to present anything. And you saw the Rudy Giuliani holding those hearings and all of that. And you saw the evidence was just overwhelming. We had all the receipts, but nobody would listen. So, if it goes to that way again, I don't think the Patriots are going to be as quiet this time as they were that time. I think it'll
No,
explode in a different way this year.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I give all the patriots and the military veterans, all those people that having the patience of Job in this whole operation for keeping our powder dry, literally and figuratively, because it's going to get to a point where that's just we're not going to it's not going to hold water anymore. They're not going to be able to quash, with the media and stuff like that, and then that's when things start to get ugly.
Yeah, and I'm not looking forward to that happening, but we're up against quite a powerful foe here, who they have a lot of levers of power in our society, and I think a lot of us are just kind of waking up to the reality and seeing how deep it goes, and we're kind of surprised. I mean, it goes right all the way down to the local level. I mean, you're seeing,
Well,
you're seeing stuff at the election office. You're seeing poll workers open the ballots, see a ballot for Trump, and tear it up. Not run it through the machine, just tear it up and throw it out, right? And it doesn't seem like these people are getting punished. I have heard of zero arrests, right? That would be grounds for arrest, wouldn't it?
yep,
Destroying an official ballot, that's not good. And,
no,
and you look and you say, well, there are a lot of people now complaining that they're not getting receipts when they turn their ballot in, they run it through the machine, they're not getting a receipt. So they don't know who they voted for. California, you could track your vote, quote unquote, and I think it's the most ridiculous thing. Other states are doing this too. All you get is, yes, we received your ballot. We don't know if it counted it. We can't look at who it was counted for. Those are the things that would tell you, okay, it was received, it was run through the machine, it was counted, here are the things you voted for, and if it's not right, you can go and contest it. You don't have that information. All you have is, yes, we received it. Kind of ridiculous, isn't it?
it is. Yeah, you should be able to track. I mean, that's the thing is they don't want any personal information and all this, it's got to be anonymous type stuff. No, I'm to the point. No, you have to stay. You have to let us know where you're at, and if you're
Yeah.
not willing to, have your stuff be known to everyone, then don't play.
And don't play by the, yeah, the rules are stacked against us in many ways, and we're looking at some challenging times ahead to see that the numbers are really high, and they got to keep being high. If you haven't voted yet, now would be a good time to do that. I think early voting is open pretty much everywhere now, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, there's early voting here. I probably will go vote early myself on Thursday because Natalie, my wife, has a dentist appointment Thursday at 9 a.m. and I think our early voting here in Florida goes to Saturday, maybe Sunday. So we're going to go Thursday. So she's got to take off work to go to her, get her teeth cleaned or something. So we're going to, knock two birds with one stone situation. Go vote, go get her teeth cleaned, then send her back to work.
Yeah, got to get it done. And, it's a good example. Here, it's just throw it in the mailbox. I mean, there isn't really that much to do. It's not really fancy here. And it's disheartening because, like I said, you can't really track it. You really don't know what's happening. Everything happens behind closed doors here. So, unless that
But I'm
changes.
curious now because I've never done the mail-in thing,
Hmm.
and it's not a mandated thing here in Florida. I've always been an election day guy, go and vote on election day. Last time around 2022, I voted early, and this time I will vote, a few days early. But I'm curious about the process and your experience with that. I mean, do they would they send the ballot to you, and then they have what the inner envelope and the outer envelope, and what
Yep.
type of you got to sign it? Is there any type of
Yep. There is.
verification you got to put on there? Just a checkbox, a testament. on the uh, on the ballot.
Yeah, but they don't verify the signature, so you can scribble anything you want in there. And we still get ballots for family members who are deceased several years, and we still get their ballots. So the voter rolls are clearly not cleaned up. And I think any voter who doesn't vote and gets a ballot, they assign a vote to it at some point. That's what the Dominion machines are for. That's how that smart built that way from the ground up. It's not a flaw. It's not a glitch. That's how it works, right? And then they take all those names off the voter rolls after the election, so you can't even audit it. So you get to the point where it's like, this election system that we have is not trustworthy. And I think what's going to happen, Bruce, we'll get to a point if Trump does prevail, nobody will accept the results on the other side. And if Harris prevails, nobody on our side. Election that I'm still in the camp of, if it happens, there still may be something that'll come up that'll make it not happen. If it happens, it's an election that you will not be able to certify. They will anyway, obviously, but you won't be able to certify because there'll be no audit trail.
Right. And here's the thing about the audits too. They keep counting the votes. Yep, the same number. We got the same. Counting the same. But it's just like if you have $1 million, and there's $100,000 or $200,000 of that $1 million that's counterfeit money. If you keep counting the money, you're still going to come up with $1 million.
Yep.
Until you start looking into whether or not the money is legit.
Yep.
Right. So there has to be guardrails for the protection of the vote, which is allegedly, according to the democratic process, is the most sacred thing on the planet is our vote. But if you can't protect or somehow, verify that the vote is legit, yeah, you can count the votes until the cows come home. But if you got 100,000 counterfeit money and $1 million, you're still going to have $1 million when you count it again and again and again and again and again and again and again, until you check into the legitimacy of the dollar bill.
Yeah, I often wonder what happens to the Nixies, right? The Nixies it's a post office term, but they go into they're undeliverable and they come back. That's called a Nixie, and it goes back to the people who sent it. I wonder what happened with those. Because are those the ones that are being harvested and just filled out?
Who knows?
Are they being destroyed?
There was a guy in Florida here, a post deliverer, a mailman or woman or person. I don't want to assume any genders, but a male individual, not male like penis male, but a male MAIL was arrested for tossing out all kinds of mail, and there was tons of ballots in there too. Just threw them in the trash.
Yeah.
This male person was arrested here in Florida not long ago.
Yeah, we're going to see stories like that. That's not throwing an election, though. That's a handful of ballots, so that's going to happen. We're going to have those kind of issues.
A little bit here, a little bit there.
Yeah.
All these different things.
Yeah.
And then then you come into the idea, because it is so an effed up process, and it's not a verifiable, not free and fair by any means. Then people get jaded. And they decide, oh, I'm not going to participate at all, and I'm not going to vote at all. And they say, fuck it, I'm going to live my life. And, that doesn't do any good as well. We're already at,
right.
On an average presidential, general election every 4 years, 30 to 35% participation, if that. And then the midterms, the off years from presidency are, in the 20s and sometimes less than 20%.
Yeah, and I think this is doing a lot of damage to that whole system. You get a fraudulent ballot in,
like over in Iran and places like that, when everybody's walking around with a purple thumb.
Yep.
Right, the ones that voted, because they put their finger on the thumb on the ballot, so everybody who voted is walking around with a purple thumb. Or something. There's got to be some way. But I don't know if have you seen the George Carlin bit about voting in elections?
Probably. I've seen quite a few of them.
Oh my gosh, it's hilarious.
We'll have to look it up and play it for the team.
You want to see it now?
You got it? Yeah, we could pop it up.
Yeah, let me see if I can share.
Just share your screen with audio.
Yeah. Let's see. We'll do this window, and then share sound. Share. Sure, where that was from, but yeah.
Okay. You know what they told Kamala Harris today?
Whoa, you
Hey,
can't run for president because you're not a naturalized
the
citizen.
best
No,
thing
what?
that she can do for her campaign is stay out of the public eye.
who who gave her that? Who's the wise one who gave her that advice?
I don't know who it was that every time she steps out in public, she makes things worse for herself, obviously. So,
She
just like they
does.
did with Biden, put him in the basement, give him some ice cream, and, we'll slip him in and he'll be the president,
Yeah, I wonder if she's if but yes, you're 100% correct. Every time she opens her mouth, how many feet can she put in there? It's just crashing, and that's just another. And now Tim Waltz and AOC doing playing video games on Twitch to try to appeal to the younger vote.
And then you saw Harris and Whitmer in a bar drinking yesterday. Oh, yeah, that's a great
Oh my
image,
God. I mean, if I know somebody. There's a lot of people watching us on my channel, your channel, Lewis's channel.
Not my
There's
channel
got to be
today. It didn't
somebody.
fire. I've tried everything. I
Oh,
can't get it to go.
sorry about that. But anyway, there's got to be somebody has some substance abuse experience. Looking at Kamala Harris, is she a drunk? Is she drunk a lot of times? Because a lot of times she's slurring. She's all handy.
Pay
I
attention to the
I've
sniffing. The sniffing gives it away.
Yeah, so and there was a blurb. I never heard if it was confirmed or not that the cocaine that they allegedly found in the White House was hers, not Hunter's.
Yep.
So who knows?
Poor Hunter.
But
He gets
she's
blamed for everything bad up there, you know?
yeah, he's just misunderstood.
He's just misunderstood. Exactly. Oh, brother. Hey, how about Timmy here? Look at this story. He had a secret fling with the daughter of a top Chinese communist official. Boy, what does this make you think of? Wasn't there another one who
Fang
had that
Fang,
problem too in the Democrats?
yeah,
Swalwell, right?
swallow well, yeah.
Swallowwell, yeah. So Tim Waltz had a secret fling with the daughter of a high-ranking communist official during his 1989 stint in China. This is Daily Mail reporting this. Jenna Wang, who is now 59, claims the VP hopeful showered her with gifts and seduced her at his pokey staff accommodation at number 1 high school in Foshan, Guangdong province. The lovers could not risk holding hands or showing affection in public because Wang's dad was a high-ranking figure of the Chinese Communist Party who would disown her for fraternizing with a Westerner. But their romance blossomed behind closed doors as they sipped tea, made love, and listened to George Michael. Oh boy, leading the 24-year-old Wang to dream about marriage and a new life in the United States, which never happened.
Yeah. Can you say compromised? I mean,
No,
that's
they're not compromised, these people. No. I think it was the best choice she could have ever done for a VP. Do you think?
okay. You don't do sarcasm very well, Robert.
I know. I know. Well, payback's a bitch. Look what's happening tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
I can't
baby.
wait for that. That's going to be epic.
That is going to be
Tune
epic
into
for
the
sure.
War Room, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, I want to see what happens if he gets out by the time his show starts. I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the release is probably not first thing in the morning. It may be like noonish or whatever, or they may hold him as long as they may hold him till 5 o'clock. It's still the same day.
Yeah, so he can get another day without being on a show.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll see what
Yeah,
happens there. But
illegal. If people aren't aware, yeah, the Department of Justice, the Bureau of Prisons, held Steve Bannon illegally beyond his release date, which was supposed to be October 19th, allegedly, and
10
so
days
he's
ago.
been
Yep.
still in the pokey, trying to keep him from doing what he does. Um,
He has said publicly that this is the worst decision they could have made, that he's going to come back hard at them. And I believe that he'll do something really strong because he has a lot of ground to stand on. Just because he got a bad judge in this case, and he was again, just like Navarro and even Rudy Giuliani and Tina Peters. They were never, none of them were allowed to mount a defense. Every time they wanted to have a defense, they couldn't have one, and the judge denied everything. So when you only have one side of the story, which way does it go, right?
Yep. I mean, how many other people besides Navarro and Bannon have not complied with a congressional subpoena? And so nothing's happened to them. I mean, Mayorkas does it on the daily.
Yeah.
Grandma and Ray and all these heads of these agencies are basically telling Congress to F off. We're not giving you what you need for your oversight and your subpoenas. So go pound sand. Nothing happens to them.
Yeah, and that's why these are the only two. Navarro and Bannon were the only two from any administration throughout history that were ever charged and put in jail for this nonsense. Defying a congressional subpoena from, and so much so that when they disbanded, they deleted all the evidence. We don't want anyone to look into this. We're going to go. Yeah, where's the shredder, Bruce? Hand me the shredder. We got stuff to shred here. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody's held accountable for that. And if you, like I said, if you hadn't seen any of Tucker's talk from Madison Square Garden last night, it's worth the watch because he brings up this stuff. He's jokingly, Kamala's got Liz Cheney out there campaigning, for 10 people, and then and Trump's got Madison Square Garden filled to the gills. And people
and
like
beyond,
Hulk Hogan, Dr. Phil, all these. The only person that really I think really probably should not have been there or done what he did is that stupid comedian that was making the off-color jokes about Hispanics in Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
that wasn't the proper place for that situation. That's just my viewpoint, unpopular as it might be.
No, a lot of people are with you on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's worth watching. I will put up some of those. I'll find some of those clips and put them on the Renegade Media Telegram page because I think they're worth watching. I know a lot of them have I didn't grab a lot of them, but there's a lot of them that have in my feed, so I'll just grab them and put them up there because I think they're well worth watching. That was sort of the pinnacle event of the campaign, if you will. If you haven't watched any of the campaign events, that's probably the one to watch. It was just A-list all the way down of people who, with the exception of the comedian guy. But the rest were all A-listers and really good presentations from most everybody there.
You're breaking news. A Pennsylvania GOP committee woman taken away in handcuffs for encouraging people to stay in line. It just popped up on Gateway Pundit, so I haven't read through it yet. But the name is she's an RNC delegate, Val Biancanello, taken away in handcuffs for in Delaware County. It's unclear if she was booked and charged, but bystander. I was just taken away in handcuffs at the Delaware. This is her statement. Pennsylvania Government Center for encouraging people to stay in line and vote. Bystanders were shocked as police handcuffed her. While that's crazy, you lock her up. That's insane. She's not influencing people. An onlooker said as police escort, because she was allegedly campaigning. She didn't say anything about any candidate, just stay in line and vote. But because she's a GOP delegate, they're putting two and two together. So she didn't break any laws by encouraging people to stay in line. So that's happening now. They're arresting people for speaking their voice.
Yeah, I watched that video earlier because it came out, I think, just before we went live. I did watch that video of her. And, what was shocking more than the arrest was nobody said anything. You know what I mean? Here we are being complacent again when it is clear, and you heard it in the crowd on that video. It's like she did nothing wrong. She just told us to stay in line. That's all she did. That's not campaigning. She did nothing wrong. The police overstepped, and nobody did anything. If 10 people would have stood up and said, she didn't do anything wrong, and you're not taking her away, you got to take all of us with you. And that would have been the end of it. It would have stopped. But nobody stood up for her.
People are scared. They don't want to. They're not willing. Yeah. Everybody wants to be a patriot. I say this all the time. Everyone wants to be a patriot. So it's time to do patriot shit. And if patriot shit entails you getting arrested, so be it.
They're not going to do it.
Until many, many more people stand up to that type of situation, nothing's going to change.
No, very true.
Talking about campaigning.
Yeah.
You can't even wear anything that has any candidate on it. This one gal, I guess she had some, MAGA gear on or something. So they said you can't vote because you can't. So she took off her shirt. She went and voted in her bra.
And there was another precinct that was reporting that the people behind the desk were wearing Harris Waltz stuff, but that was okay. Poll workers can wear it, but you can't go and vote and have any Trump
Oh,
gear
God,
on.
that's come on. That can't be really.
Yeah. You know, the shocking piece to all of this, Bruce, is how many are so seriously indoctrinated that they have a non-candidate who has no platform other than Trump is bad, right? No platform, stands for nothing. They look at their last 4 years, they hate their life. They're being told that the inflation's going to come down, the border's going to get closed. That's not Biden Harris. That's the opposite. They're being lied to, and they can't even see through the lies. It's kind of shocking to me that people just aren't awake enough to see what's really happening.
I know it's and the Mark Twain quote comes to life again. It's easier to fool people than to convince them they've been fooled.
Oh, big time. Big time. All right. One ad for today. I'm going to do it real quick here. Berberine, if you don't know about berberine, it's the master metabolic switch supporting the activation of the longevity pathways, but it is mostly used and has been used for thousands of years to help manage blood sugar. So many of us, as we get older, it's like, what is it, 3 in 5 now that are pre-diabetic in this country, over 50? It's just an insane number. So this is something you can do. 2 berberine capsules prior to eating will help you manage your blood sugar. And I think that's real important for a lot of us to do it. This is Lance's company. You can get berberine and give it a shot. And other supplements. You got 18 other products there. Screwbiggov.com/health. Screwbiggov.com/health. And we love Lance, and we thank him for supporting our show with really, really high quality products. And Bruce and I are big fans. We all have his products on our desks in front of us. We're taking them all the time, and
I got the pine needle extract. I got the humic and fulvic acid. He's aside from supplements, he makes a fantastic organic type soap.
Mm-hmm.
He's got soap on there, spruce. It's a very, very aromatic for your olfactory. But yeah, I mean, even you're talking about diabetes and berberine. Dr. Layla Ali, that's one of the things she says. Diabetes can be reversed and cured.
Yep.
It's not a lifelong sentence for jabbing insulin into you or having a machine or whatever. She says in her book, 100% is a curable and reversible disease. So look into it. You can't continue to eat all the processed bullshit that they're trying to feed us and think that you're going to be healthy. No, you have to take some action on your own part and maybe suffer some pain and not have cookies and soda and processed stuff.
RFK Jr. posted a photo of his dad or his uncle JFK back in the, I guess, and he says, we're going to make America great again. We're going to make America healthy again. All of those additives, all those chemicals, by the way, that all these fast food restaurants that are in other countries do not use in other countries. They only use them here. All those things will be banned and they'll be removed from our food supply. And we'll finally get a healthy food supply. And you can go out for a hamburger and not feel guilty and not feel like, Phoebe and I do this all the time. We go into like a standard grocery store. We'll walk through the whole store and find nothing to eat. The cart's empty. We come out of there. We got a bottle of water. Okay, that's about all we could find. Because everything we look at, it's like you look at the ingredients list and it's like, I'm not eating that.
Oh, yeah. Or you do the perimeter shopping. You go through the produce and the refrigerated section and all that stuff. You stay out of the aisles because anything in a box or in a can or in a bottle is no effing good.
Exactly. So, another reason to get Trump in. It's not, it's really fascinating to see that it is not just a Republican thing anymore. It's like so far beyond that. And I was telling a friend of mine the other day, it's like this idea of, it's Republicans versus Democrats is so archaic. Stop it already. It's not that. It's globalists versus Americans who want a free country, and they don't want the FDA being totally bought and paid for by big pharma. Right? They're there to protect big pharma is what they are. They don't protect the food supply. Why are there thousands and thousands of untested, unproven chemicals in our food source? Why? It doesn't make any sense.
Gas.
Yeah.
They're gas. They're generally accepted as safe.
Yep. I went to In-N-Out Burger maybe last year, and I got a little packet of salt, and there's an ingredients list on the packet of salt, and I'm like, Why would there be an ingredient list? Shouldn't it just be salt? Oh no, silicon dioxide, this, that. And it's like, what? I take a
Wow.
picture of it. I couldn't believe it. It was like, this is a pack of salt and it's filled with chemicals. Salt is like the cheapest thing that you could possibly get. Why would you want to modify it? Why can't you just put salt in the package? You know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yep. Stay away from the iodized salt. Go to the Himalayan, the pink salt, or the Celtic salt, or sea salt. Some more natural salt. Stay away from the iodized and the processed salt. That's another myth of the medical industry. The eggs, that causes cholesterol. Salt causes high blood pressure. Protein, causes this and that. That's all lies and bullshit.
It's going to be interesting when we get to the other side of this and then these truths really start to come out, because right now you talk about this stuff and you're seen as a quack, right? And they did that with all the chiropractors. They call them quacks and everything. But, they're natural health practitioners, really what they are. And they'll give you the straight and narrow of what you need to do to get your health. These and that one, but they cannot promote it. They can't talk about it in public, right? They'll lose their license. But they do it. They can do it. And they are doing it. But, they can't talk about it. Crazy as that sounds.
Yeah.
Bruce,
Crazy
anything else you
stuff,
want to
man.
share before we wrap up for today?
Nope. Just stay positive. Stay looking out. Work on yourself. Be the best human you can be. That's what I'm doing. I'm living my best life in the RV, and whatever happens, happens. I'm ready for it. I'm trying to manifest as much as I can and be positive about a Trump situation coming to fruition, and we can start to turn this ship around.
Yeah.
But if things go south, who knows what? I mean, the next 90 days between now and the January 6th, call it, or even the 20th, the inauguration day. But the next 90 days are going to tell a huge story about what we think, what we believe, what we've been told, what's the direction going forward. So we're going to figure all kinds of stuff out in the next 90 days. So buckle up. Stay positive. Start talking to everybody you know. Hey, are you registered to vote? Are you voting? Did you vote yet? Don't ask who. Just get them. Get people to vote.
Get them in there. Exactly. Yeah. SG Anon has a new file out, by the way, guys. If you want to listen to that, he has some very telling information about Washington, D.C. and what he's expecting to happen there. Eye-opener, if anything else. There's a lot of good stuff in that. He works exceptionally hard. He's literally up at 6 in the morning, goes to bed at 2 in the morning, and he's working all day on this kind of stuff, along with taking care of his family and doing a normal 9-to-5 job. So he's a patriot that is like putting in the hours, if you will, and his files that he releases, they're videos, but you can't see him. It's just his logo, and they're just jam-packed with information. Sometimes it's over my head too. Some of it is a little bit complicated, but you can get through that. There's a lot of good content in there, so I'll promote him because he's a good friend, and he's a friend of the show, and we will have him back on because we're going to have a lot to expose going forward. So just leave it to say we're feeling good at the moment, but don't get complacent. Remember to stay strong but flexible. We, prepare for the unexpected. We don't know what'll happen, but our eyes are open. We're watching. Remember, tomorrow we're into 7 days. We get good news tomorrow. Bannon gets out. That'll be fun to see, and then we'll see where we go from here. The pressure is mounting. The water's about to boil, so we'll see what ends up happening.
Amen to that.
Unpopular viewpoint on Rumble. Unpopular viewpoint on Rumble. Unpopular viewpoint chat on Telegram. Follow Bruce, and he'll keep you informed, let you know what's happening. And he's got a new show called Mindset Mondays. Help you work with that gray matter, that little 6 inches between the two ears. That is everything. That is where your power is. So it'll help you get that on straight, because we all need a little bit of inspiration during these crazy times. You'll find me at renegademedia.tv and Lewis at screwbiggov.com. And with that, Bruce, thank you so much for being part of our show today. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man. You're the one that does all the hard work. All I got to do is show up and talk.
Show up and chat. Well, we'll do it again real soon. We would love to have you on the show. And thank you for the last minute notice. I know you jumped in on it, and really, really, really appreciate you.
No problem. Anything I can do to help Lewis get this documentary, because this is going to be huge.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, and I'm guessing Lewis doesn't put dates out, but yeah, this is going to be epic. You're going to want to see this and share this information everywhere because the need is still there. It's not going away. They're going to try to memory hole that whole situation, but there's still, an upwards, excessively upwards of 10,000 people still missing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Crazy. Crazy, crazy fraud, and then it seems to be piling on us. So deep breath, everybody. Keep yourself grounded. Keep well hydrated, eat well, and get some rest as much as you can, and we'll get through this. We promise you. We'll get on the other side. It'll be fine.